gucken wir uns jetzt mal das Ganze hier an. Freunde, das Ganze hier ist einmal ein Interview mit dem wunderbaren Herrn NIKITA, was Pestily gemacht hat. Soll wohl irgendwie so ein 2-Stunden-Ding gewesen sein, was die jetzt irgendwie zusammengeschnitten haben. Wir sind jetzt hier bei einer Stunde 24. Wir schauen einfach mal rein, keine Ahnung, mal gucken, wie lange das Ganze jetzt gehen wird. Da sollen wohl sau viele Informationen, auch komplett neue Informationen mit drin sein. Deswegen wollte ich hier auf jeden Fall mal reingucken.
Let's crack straight into it. So I wrote out on Twitter and YouTube, and then also people came out on Reddit talking about this chat. So I literally read thousands of comments. There was, I want to emphasize right now that there were a lot of comments that were saying that they really love the game, and make sure you know that. And a lot of these comments were just coming out of like, you know, things that have pissed people off or upset people over the time, or just like the questions about like they want to know what's going on and stuff. So there was a lot, and I've tried my best to streamline it all as much as possible. I think what we've seen in the past is we've had every time that Escape for Tarkov is like going through highs and lows and all that, Battlestate games kind of all of a sudden like they'll start off with really great communication, and you guys, like, you will start off with really great communication. And then I think what happens is you end up getting really busy with work, and you're so focused on making the game that people kind of forget, or they feel like you guys forget about the community.
True.
And in the past, we've had, you know, you guys would just send out like, hey, we're working on this.
Hat das mit der Mikrowelle aufgenommen? Wirkt so, ne?
I guess one of the questions is, do you guys have more room to give more transparency?
Das ist halt ein bisschen zu viel Zoom, ne?
On, you know, what you guys are working on, like monthly updates or even fortnight, like every 2 weeks, to send out a Twitter post or an in-game message with information releases to make it more available for us to know what's actually going on.
Bitte redet mit uns.
Because I feel like one of the biggest grievances, I think, is people feel like you guys just take the community for granted, and that there's not enough
100%, Alter.
information coming out of Battlestate games.
Of course.
Alter, absolut wichtiger Punkt, was der sagt, weil das ist genauso das wie, keine Ahnung, wie wahrscheinlich gefühlt jeder, der schon länger in Tarkov unterwegs ist, man fühlt sich halt einfach genauso, dass BSG so ein bisschen auf uns scheißt. So als Endkonsumenten. So, let's be real.
Taking it like this, because literally it's all about, so single thing that we try to do and we plan to do it, everything revolves around the community, what they want, the quality of life things, the additional, I think, for example, we plan starting to release the big like tutorials about the game. Like they done really great for those who are still struggling, for the newcomers and
Stimmt, haben sie jetzt rausgehauen, diese Anfänger-Tutorials, ne?
A lot of things we do, and a lot of things while we do it, we think about the community. But I understand that sometimes it's not enough transparency. Sometimes we don't have any like information about what's going on. And yes, seems like at some points we are sharing the plans, we're sharing the roadmaps and everything, but I believe we just can't make it stay in the plan of the, like, for example, community management plan or something. I don't know why. I literally, right after this interview, will ask people like what's going on, how we can make it more transparent and give more information about development process. All I can say that we are not, we doing it not on purpose. We are doing it like just literally, as you said, we got overwhelmed with work, and sometimes I believe it's just not enough information for you guys. So yeah, that's the point.
The other thing is,
ja, ich meine, das ist ja auch klar. Ich meine, fucking hell, das sind alles Game Developer. Das ist genauso, keine Ahnung, ich kann das irgendwie voll und ganz verstehen. Wenn ich jetzt irgendwie das Ganze irgendwie vergleiche mit einem Content Creator da sein, so, was meinst du, wie ich mir irgendwie also ich musste mir jetzt immer noch irgendwie angewöhnen, einfach mal vielleicht ein paar mehr Sachen mal auf Twitter zu posten oder sonst irgendwas. Oder allein auch vielleicht einfach mal sagen, ey, yo, übrigens, Stream startet ein bisschen später, weil Turniertag, ne? Deswegen, so, keine Ahnung, ich muss mir das halt einfach angewöhnen, irgendwie zu reden. Aber ich meine, fucking hell, das sind Game Developer, ich bin Zocker. So, wir sind introvertiert, Mann. Kein Bock mit Menschen zu reden. So. Das ist doch voll normal, aber da musst du jemanden haben irgendwie, der irgendwie dann sagt, Alter, genau so sieht's aus. Das ist das, woran wir gerade arbeiten. Ne? Und das ist das, was gerade passiert. Du musst jemanden haben oder du musst halt irgendwie mit dieser Community, die du dir halt aufgebaut hast, musst du halt einfach gucken, dass du da irgendwie, ja, kommunizierst und denen das Gefühl gibst, dass da halt einfach was passiert, dass da gerade was am Start ist. So, ne? Und das muss BSG unbedingt machen. Der Community Manager muss halt was tun. Absolut, ja, genau, Bucky. Die müssten einen Community Manager haben. Das wär halt sau wichtig. Und nicht einfach nur Nikita, der bei jedem Interview einfach da sitzt und sich so denkt, ja, Juice Time.
People feel like it goes both ways. So people want to get their information to you guys, but they don't feel like they're heard sometimes. And I'm asking the question right now is, what do you deem the best way for the community, either as an individual or as a whole, to be able to say, hey, this is upsetting us, or this is something we're excited about, hear us?
When it comes to some problems in the game or some imperfections or some like broken stuff, usually it's pretty fast. So the signals go pretty fast. So literally we know about like something is really bad pretty quick. Because literally there's a lot of people in the community, there's a lot of chats, there's a lot of places where people can say about like what's going on, and also the support. So some information is getting through, like the crucial information about some broken stuff, like 97% of the information goes through, and it seems okay. So I'm not sure how we could make a thing. So literally all of the community have an option to speak it out loud and like send the information with a 100% chance that it will be received. I don't know how we could do it, because literally the community is millions of people.
Yeah. So I've got a few points to bring up that might help, but also reiterate stuff you've said in the past. So you've said that when people do like detailed Reddit posts and stuff like that, you guys read it. So, you know, like say someone writes a big Reddit post on an issue within the game, and if it's well written and detailed, you guys hear it and you read it. Is that something that you like obviously still use and stuff like that, or YouTube videos and stuff like that? So people that don't have a voice normally, like they're not a content creator, but they use Reddit, is that still something you guys pay attention to?
Of course, like we pay attention to Reddit, we pay attention to YouTube.
Die hören Reddit zu, Chat. Fuck.
We try to react pretty hasty, because literally, again, we're not doing it on purpose. Like we are sitting there and just like doing
Imagine,
stuff.
Alter, die hören Reddit zu, Mann, ey, dann glauben die ganzen Leute noch, dass 5.6 verbuggt ist und Context die besten sind oder was, also dass Context verbuggt sind, Alter. Fucking hell, ich hoffe nicht. Ich hoffe nicht, dass sie den zuhören.
Possible, but sometimes we got overloaded, and sometimes, I mean, constantly, actually. We constantly get overloaded, and sometimes it's just like unbearable amount of work. And when it comes to some kind of big problem that got like away from us, but it kind of popped in the community.
Alter, mich triggert die Quali übelst. Mich triggert das, Mann.
Instantly trying to recalibrate our priorities and everything. So yeah, like still, like the voices can be heard on the like popular platforms. We are like we see it instantly, like the links going through, and we use that for sure. Yeah.
Do you know the game RuneScape?
Yes.
I've never played it, which is a shocking thing for a lot of people. But inside that game, they actually have a polling system for the active player base. And I always thought it's a very interesting thing that if you guys could put some sort of polling system from within the game, you would be able to hear the voice of the people that are actually playing the game. So not someone who hasn't played the game in 3 years who's like pissed off about the game or whatever, or they've they don't even have the game installed anymore. You could literally ask like, are you happy with the boss spawn percentages? Are you happy with like, and very simple questions, and people can just do it on the main menu, and it's just a yes or no. You don't have to keep them really.
Cool idea.
If that was in the game, I feel like people would actually just, even if I'm not saying to do this, but even if it did nothing, I feel like people would feel like they're being heard a bit more.
We planned as this actually. We have this in plan. We even have designs for that. So I believe someday it will be in the game. So more stuff to get the info, to get the stats from players. So it's planned. We plan the polls in the launcher. We plan the polls in the game. So eventually, for the release, we will increase the amount of tools which will allow.
Ja, aber for the release, I mean, for the release, ich meine, du bist doch jetzt gerade in der Early Access. Also warum bei Release? Warum nicht jetzt? Oder ist es einfach nur Sprachbarriere?
Your information easily with us, and our information easily with you too. So yeah, it's planned. Like just to mention, still. What's going on right now? We are working on a release, and it means that we are polishing the game. we're adding stuff, we're polishing stuff. It will not be something that the game changing stuff and everything. It's more like about the actual completing the game, making it like stable, solid, and this is it. And that's why some of the tools are still not in the game, so we'll need to push it through this year. So yeah.
And the reason why I'm discussing this.
This is it. And that's why some of the tools are still not in the game, so we'll need to push it through this year. So yeah.
Okay, das heißt also, jetzt will er es doch dieses Jahr rausbringen, weil sie... Jetzt, Bruder, hä?
Stuff, it will not be something that the game changing stuff and everything. It's more like about the actual completing the game, making it like stable, solid, and this is it. And that's why some of the tools are still not in the game, so we'll need to push it through this year. So yeah.
Wollen die nächstes Jahr releasen? Bro, das hört sich so an, als ob die nächstes Jahr releasen wollen. Sie müssen es dieses Jahr abschließen, damit sie releasen können. Also müssen sie es dieses Jahr durch... Alter, das wird
and the reason why I'm discussing
Sie wollen nächstes Jahr releasen, oder?
There's a lot of questions about communication. And so that's why, like, I'm not trying to be like annoying and be like, NIKITA, talk to us more. But if I don't bring up this stuff, I feel like this is the backbone of like probably a lot of people's either, you know, just thought processes when it comes to Escape from Tarkov. It's like, oh, we don't even know what's happening. So I don't know if it's possible, but if you could organize a way to even just have like a monthly breakdown of what's been going on, or even just you just do like a Tarkov TV but less formal. You know, just jump on a Twitter.
Tarkov TV, aber less formal? Bruder, was? Sitzt er dann einfach in Unterhose da, oder was?
Like
Nein!
those Twitter things where you can talk and no one else can talk. And you can just talk about what's been going on. I think that would probably go a long
Was
way
für
with just
nochmal
helping people feel like they're being
unprofessioneller.
heard or at least know what's going on. Because this community is one of the most passionate communities of video games
True.
I have ever heard of it. They love it, but they're very passionate. Let's use that.
Yeah, I understand that. They love it and they hate it, and it's like one step forward, one step back. At first you love the game, then you hate it, then you love it again. I totally get it. I'm 10 years already in that, so I can feel that. This is how it works. This is how it was done, and of course, not everybody will be happy, but hopefully we will decrease the number of unhappy people by adding stuff what you need, fixing stuff what is needed and everything. So yeah, as always, we will try to do it, because literally the release is not one of the important things. It's the most important thing actually, and that's why we need to force a lot of things in. Really, like a lot of stuff need to be done, and it must be good. It must be good because we need to point the exclamation mark after the Escape from Tarkov, not like the comma or something like it must be done like really good.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay.
Roadmap. Sorry, what does 2024 look like, and when's the wipes?
Oh.
This is a big question. I've got a lot of points for this. So
the wipe will be in summer, and the next one will be in the end of the year. So this year is more about the inner stuff. So literally, we do a lot of stuff for the release. For example, the storyline quests and all the functionality will be in release version. As I said before, it will not be released before the release. Mm-hmm. So that's why pretty big part of team working on storyline quests, like the biggest, the first one,
cool,
which will allow you to escape from
Boah, ich freue mich, dass sehr drauf,
Mann. Making the prestige system and many stuff related for the vibe season kind of thing. And so big part of work is related to that. Also the graphics rework will be released earlier just to test it.
Okay.
Other than that, there's a lot of features and polishing, but not as much as it was in the last year, the year before.
Aber warum denn Graphics Release, Mann? Keine Ahnung, die Grafik von Tarkov ist geil. Mach es doch jetzt nicht noch anspruchsvoller. Wie viele PCs willst du in Flammen setzen?
So mostly it's about polishing, I guess, fixing and adding something to the game. I cannot disclose everything right now, because literally I plan to do it on the Tarkov TV. Yeah, but something like that. So we are focusing on the release, and there's a lot of stuff purely for the release only. So that's why
you don't
engine? Möglich, ja.
So will we get another roadmap or could we get another roadmap for what this year looks like? Cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring in the new roadmap for sure.
What new features and game mechanics are meant to be released with or before 1.0?
Again, you will see that. I will show you.
Okay.
I cannot disclose. Like, literally, it's not too much, but still, I cannot disclose them. So
okay, I'm gonna keep pushing you on everything. So a lot of people are asking what the finished product will look like. So one of the big questions is, will the maps be connected, and or will it be open world?
Yeah, they will be connected for sure. Open world is not the thing for the release for sure. It's too much.
Nice.
Yeah, so they will be connected because literally the first connection. We're like actually doing it for the last location, for the terminal location. Yeah, and it will be.
Just so everyone at home knows, there's a little bit of a delay. I'm in Australia, Nikita's in Russia, so if we over talk each other, it's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's just it feels like there's meant to be a pause, and yeah. So I just don't want it to be very clear about that. So you did touch on it before. There will be wipes when 1.0 comes out. Is it going to be like a seasonal? Like there's the standard Path of Exile.
There will be several profiles. There will be main account without wipes and the seasonal account with prestige system. So the prestige system is pretty big thing actually, pretty big. It will give you not only like the count of number you escape from Tarkov, you completed the wipes, but also it will give you a lot of unique stuff, and that's why we're forcing it also for the release. So for the prestige system will be pretty big thing. Yeah, and there will be wipes. There will be wipes, and we will like wipe for us. Like it all will be connected with the prestige system. How exactly it will be connected, we are still thinking about it. But I think you will need to escape from Tarkov every single wipe. If you are escaped, completed the whole mission, the quest, and you got one of the several endings, by the way. And
mehrere endings.
You will receive like the point. You will receive the prestige point, and you will receive a lot of bonuses, a lot of cool stuff that will keep with you during wipes. So it's pretty interesting stuff.
Okay, das heißt, wir bekommen Shit, was... What? Die Frage ist, was ich mir jetzt gerade so ein bisschen die Frage stelle, ist Lightkeeper unser Weg zur Singleplayer, zum Escape from Tarkov? Aber er sagt eigentlich in seinem Anfangsmonolog, dass es kein Escape from Tarkov gibt, ne? Vielleicht macht es nicht ganz so viel Sinn. Aber wie viel Content musst du dann durchziehen? Musst du Kappa-Container machen, musst du Lightkeeper machen und dann noch mehr, um zu escapen? Holy fuck, das ist cool.
Traders within the game, like Prapper, will we see him in the game? Okay.
At least we plan to add one more trader. And this trader will be linked to Arena. So another pretty big thing is linkage, EFT and Arena, and all the functionality. Actually, like a lot of work is going in Arena, like a lot of stuff we are redesigning like on the go. And one of the main features that we want to add pretty soon is the linkage for the EFT and the ability to pair stuff between accounts. So it's also a pretty big thing. And we will add special trader for that. So we'll need to earn special items, special
like credit
thing, yeah, something like that, and we will be able to spend it in EFT. So it will be another source of income with a unique trader.
I should have said this at the very beginning. I've got another discussion going on.
Weiterer Händler.
And Battlestar Games and Escape from, and NIKITA and that. So I'm going to keep this focused on Escape from Tarkov because otherwise we will spend the rest of our lives talking. But it's good to bring it up. I'm not saying not talk about it, but there's a lot of questions about Arena as well, and I've got that separate for another conversation at another point in time. Okay. So yeah, the map terminal. What can you tell us about that?
No, it's just it's just like it's ending location. It's not like the raid location. It will be kind of single player mission that we need to complete, and that's it. Pretty unique functionality will be there. So we are trying to make it like dynamic and stuff. Again, to add something new for the EFT, to have such kind of mission. Again, every single thing that we do in the game, we plan to reuse, like to add something like that in the future. For example, we will add BTR for the woods, and it will be pretty soon.
That's cool.
Okay, das haben sie vorher aufgenommen, okay. Aber das hört sich bis jetzt richtig gut an, Mann. Was meinen die immer mit Singleplayer? Das raff ich nicht. Escape from Tarkov bekommt eine Singleplayer-Storyline. Also eine einzelne, eine Kampagne, um wie du Escape from Tarkov dann escapen kannst. Das ist die Kampagne. Und die wirst du halt Singleplayer-mäßig nur spielen können. So habe ich es jetzt verstanden. Ich denke mal, es wird auch so sein, dass du halt nur, dass es halt nur client-sided für dich dann persönlich ist, aber es sind halt andere Sachen, die dann halt passieren. Wie sie es genau umsetzen werden, keine Ahnung, I don't fucking know, keine Ahnung. Aber das hört sich alles richtig gut an. Die haben da sehr viel Potenzial. Allein schon das Prestige-System hört sich ultra geil an, dass das richtig nice wird, Mann. Ich hoffe, dass es sich nicht so anfühlt, als ob man dazu gezwungen wird, Arena zu zocken. Kann ich mir persönlich nicht vorstellen. Also ich denke mal, sie werden auf jeden Fall schon einen Einreiz dazu bringen, dass du Arena startest. 100%. Aber ich glaube nicht, dass es ein Must-Have ist. Das kann ich mir nicht vorstellen. Aber wahrscheinlich werden sie da schon ein paar Goodies irgendwie so raushauen. Das kann ich mir gut vorstellen.
Up with stuff you've brought up over the last few years and just seeing if that's still coming. You don't have to go into too much detail if it is or not. It's up to you. But clans, alliances, corporations. I know in the roadmap of 2018 you said it was coming soon, but then you said later on it would be coming out after 1.0. Is that still on the...
Most likely, yeah, it will come after 1.0 as a DLC. And yeah,
schade.
like, so again, the big
Cool, dass es kommt.
Because it's not like clan tag or something. It's a lot of things in there, and that's why we wanted to pack it up like a DLC.
Unconscious state and the use of a defib in game.
Still, like at the state of R&D, like a lot of stuff, like animations, like additional kind.
Was ist der State of R&D, Chat? Was bedeutet das?
The state of R&D.
R-A-D?
State and the use of a defib in game.
Still, like at the state of R&D.
Research and Development Kurs, dankeschön.
Like a lot of stuff, like animations, like additional kind of stuff, advanced animations that were being done constantly. But I don't know when exactly we should actually implement it, because it's a game changer and it will bring.
Sie wollen wirklich Defis nutzbar machen? Bro! Das könnte so cool sein. Klar, wird dann nicht so sein, dass wenn du einen Header dir gefangen hast, so, ne, dann wirst du wahrscheinlich nicht wieder ins Leben geholt werden können, aber wenn du, keine Ahnung, ein paar Arme verlierst und deswegen geleckmetert wirst, so kann es gut sein, dass du dann wiederbelebt wirst. Das finde ich cool. Alter, was?
A lot of testing, a lot of bugs and everything, so I think we'll edit someday, I guess, but we'll see. So right now, we are not like forced, but yeah, kind of forced to cut things out, really, because otherwise it will go on for another year. Yeah. So that's why we need to just push it and just cut it out and move forward. So some features will be packed later for the DLC. Some features will be totally cancelled. So yeah, it's a usual thing.
Lockpicking.
Again, like we have all the animations, we have all of the designs, everything. But it's not that priority to add that. But again, it will be pretty easily implemented. If we want to implement, because there will be new boss, and this boss will come. I really want it to come with the functionality of booby traps and mine fields and placing mines and everything. So that's why, like, it draws additional like area of work related for the mines and mine diffusing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we meant to diffuse the mines and that? Yeah, PMC Karma.
Right now,
no,
I kinda thinking about that it will be added, not straightforward. It will be some concealed characteristic of your player. You will not know at the first time how exactly you should lower it or make it higher. Of course, the data miners will data mine the shit of the game. And they will know how to do it.
So there's a lot of stress about PMC cards. Is it going to be in a way that it'll only affect you in a minor way? Or is it going to be like, if you don't play the game how you're meant to with the PMC karma side of things, it's going to stop you from progressing? So what I mean by that is it going to be in a way that you might just not be able to buy a couple of things, or maybe if you're a bad man, you'll get like access to certain type of clothing, whereas like if you're a good person, you'll get like, I don't know, the really nice clothing or something. Is it going to be down that path, or is it going to be like actually game stopping?
So right now, it's the first thing that we want to implement related to the karma is that we will add new boss, and he will be a bounty hunter, and will actually hunt players with the bad karma, and that's it for now.
Okay.
So he will hunt you down if you have a low karma. Like, for example, if you will sit in the bushes too long at the extraction, it will count the negative karma. and we will have different things like that to lower it or get it higher. So yeah.
Okay.
Was? Das heißt also, es gibt bestimmte Bereiche, desto länger du in diesen Bereichen auf der Map bist, desto beschissener wird dein Karma werden und dann wirst du von einem Kopfgeldjäger-Boss über den Haufen geschossen. Was? Sorry, das muss ich mir einfach nochmal anhören, das ist gerade so.
Karma, and that's it for now.
Das muss ich mir einfach nochmal anhören.
So, he will hunt you down if you have a low karma. Like, for example, if you will sit in the bushes too long at the extraction, it will count the negative karma. And we will have different things like that to lower it or get it higher. So, yeah.
Okay.
We will test it out. But it will not be shown yet. Because we
Alter,
will
wie
test
krank.
it, we will see how it will go, and then
Alter, wie geil ist das denn, Mann? Einfach Exit-Camper werden so richtig
we will implement it
geil.
fully.
That's all I've got for the roadmap side of things. I want to move on to the Unity.
Mal schauen, was
update.
darum passiert.
What will it
Grundsätzlich eine coole Idee, aber ich glaube, das steht und fällt mit der Umsetzung. Das müssen wir bei jeder einzelnen Idee hier in so ein Sternchen dran machen. Das darf man dabei nicht vergessen. Prestige-System, grundsätzlich ultra coole Idee, aber steht und fällt mit der Umsetzung. Link zwischen Arena über einen separaten Händler, den du in-game erreichen kannst. Unglaublich cooles Konzept. Steht und fällt mit der Umsetzung. Ne? Es sind alles so, alles, was hier so alles passiert, sind so Sachen, die wirklich unglaublich viel Potenzial haben. So, das ist bis jetzt mein Eindruck, bis hin zu Minute 21. Aber, ja, mal schauen, was draus wird. Da ist sehr, sehr viel Potenzial aktuell in dem, was ich bis jetzt hier mitbekomme.
bring, and when are we going to expect it?
This year for sure. We're still shifting it because we don't have time. Like big chunks of work and big amount of testing related to that. So it's still planned for this year. I don't know the exact date, but it's planned for this year for sure.
I'm not a game developer, and I've never. The most I've ever coded is a game called Tic-Tac-Toe. What exactly does a Unity update bring?
Like different new tools, insight tools for actual game development, like corrected pipelines, senior pipelines of like graphic pipelines and everything, which will allow us to add more stuff and change more stuff related to graphics. I believe there is something related to the new networking. And overall, like a lot of bug fixes, a lot of optimizations within the engine. So it definitely will bring some optimizations for that. And generally speaking, it's just a new like software and with the fixes and a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Because we are making the most expensive and complicated game in terms of the actual production for the Unity. It's always a struggle for us to keep all of the scenes together loaded to work with it in the engine. And the new version, like eventually and logically, they fix stuff, they optimize stuff within the engine, within the editor, and it will run faster and it allow us to build faster, work faster. And generally speaking, it's just like an updated tool for that in general.
Like I said, I'm not in development and I
interesting.
don't understand a lot about it, but I have an idea, I guess. If it brings a lot of optimization, like there is people out there at the moment that still can't play Streets, for example. Why?
True.
And I'm not trying to be rude, but why isn't getting to the latest version of Unity like the thing that you should try and get done first?
No, it will not. It will not give like the huge impact. It will not give us like the huge performance boost for the Streets because Streets still getting optimized with our own hands, with our own tool that we built, and it's just about it. So it's just a really complicated, really big location that needs to be additionally optimized, like manually. And the new version of Unity will not give some like the big amount of optimization for that. Like I think it will be
Das ist beunruhigend.
like noticeable, but not too much, because literally we still need to do a lot of stuff by ourselves.
Das ist ein bisschen beunruhigend, weil ich glaube, viele Leute aus der Community sehen das Unity-Update so ein bisschen als der Hoffnungsschimmer, dass Streets of Tarkov besser laufen wird auf deren Rechnern. Aber im Endeffekt sagt er jetzt ja gerade, ja, wenn du Streets spielen willst, kauf dir einen besseren PC. Also hat er jetzt nicht gesagt, aber das ist im Endeffekt, was es dann im Endeffekt bedeuten würde. Weil ich glaube, sehr, sehr viele Leute haben halt noch, die jetzt gerade so vielleicht so einen Mid-Tier-PC haben oder halt vielleicht auch einen Low-Tier-PC oder wie auch immer man es nennen möchte. Also vielleicht ein etwas älteres Gerät halt einfach. Ich glaube, da sind sehr, sehr viele Leute, die gedacht haben, dass die neue Unity Engine wirklich Streets of Tarkov spielbar macht für die. Interesting.
Ourselves to optimize it.
Okay. Like I said, I'm probably not the best person to be asking the questions, but it's probably also a good reason why I am asking the question, because I don't know. Like, I don't understand how easy it is to just change to the next engine. So
It's
that's
not
why.
easy.
Ja, aber
Yeah.
FSR 3
I
ist doch auch wieder nur eine
wouldn't deem it
Grafikkartensache,
easy,
Trauni,
but
also juckt es dann
at
auch wieder
least
nicht.
need to ask about it. So I'll move on to the next topic, because I have a lot of things to talk about. So we can't talk about stuff forever. Microtransactions. So
No,
I'll start with this question and we'll
monies.
move on from there. But what can we expect to see with microtransactions?
More clothing for sure. We will add some new stuff in April. Some like not like 100% unique, but something new for that.
Okay.
And
Cool.
that's it for now.
Ich darf Geld ausgeben diesen Monat.
Adding anything. So we will add more clothing, and we will keep it for that moment. So we will not add anything like, as I said before, many times, like boosters, equipment packages, currency packages, and so on. We will not add it. So it will be only about
Schön.
closing and what we have in the game right now. So it's a stash expansion and like cooperative mode.
Yeah.
Ability to play.
There is a question about a few people asking because they missed out on buying Edge of Darkness. Will you Edge of Darkness ever return, or will it be sold in bits? So, for example, would they be able to buy the Gamma container at any point?
There will be a new version of the game pretty soon.
Okay. And they'll be able to get the Gamma container
okay.
there?
Yeah, there will be Gamma container there and also
Schön.
like other pretty cool stuff.
Is it going to be better?
Sehr schön. Das ist endlich genau das, was wir halt so ein bisschen gehofft haben, beziehungsweise, ne, dass die Age of Darkness Edition, es gibt sie nicht mehr, ne, es war in allererster Linie das Problem mit dem Season Pass, dass Tarkov Arena halt jetzt auch for free in dem Ganzen war, ne, weil sie wollen halt einfach ein bisschen Kohle verdienen und DLCs umsonst, das ist halt einfach nicht rentabel für Battleset Games, ne, das heißt, es wird auch einfach noch eine größte Version geben, wo der Gamma-Container am Start ist.
Than Edge of Darkness?
Yes.
Okay.
Es wird besser als die EOD? Wait, what?
Okay. And they'll be able to get the Gamma container there?
Yeah, there will be Gamma container there and also like other pretty cool stuff.
Is it going to be better than Edge of Darkness?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this one is a bit...
Okay, ich bin gespannt, was das bedeutet. Alter, wir müssen bald unsere EOD upgraden, Chat, Mann.
bit to this question. So just hear me out. A lot of us, by us I mean creators, buy multiple accounts. Is it possible that you could make it that you could have more than one character on the same account? And you could even sell those extra character slots on the one account. So then I could have my main USEC PMC, but then I want to play a hardcore playthrough and I could buy that, say for $10. I could have another character and I have to pay $40 to buy a whole new account. I could have
Und wieder 100 Euro reinbuttern? Nein, danke. Ja, dann lass es halt.
have it all on the one account. Is that something that you'd be open to in the future? Or maybe just out of goodwill, give us a second character and then we could buy the third and fourth?
There will definitely something about that for sure, because I know that it's way too easier to have all the characters in one account, not switch in and off and everything, and it can be done pretty easily. So yeah, most likely there will be additional characters. Like for example, Edge of Darkness edition will receive one character for free. I don't know, like something like that.
There we
But
go.
again, it's not that we are doing right now, but we are planning for sure.
I know this is me just venting, but every time I have to switch account, because sometimes I'll like log into my main account to do my Bitcoin farm, and then I go back to my hardcore account. I have to do the capture, and I must be a pure fucking robot because I can never get the captures done. So like, it's actually really agitating when I get locked out of my account because I can't do a capture. All right, this is the topic that everyone screams, and you know what's going to be. We need to talk about cheaters. There's a few things that were very
Cheater
common
in
with
Tarkov,
the people's
Alter.
comments and questions. So I'll
gucken,
start at
was
the
er
top,
sagt.
and we'll just go from there. So a lot of questions about client-side authentication and server-side authentication, and apparently, like, and by the way, I have no fucking clue about how cheats work. But apparently, because a lot of the actual loot is client-side, people can make cheats that can get loot really easily or know where the places are of loot really easily.
It's not that easy. We don't have a loot on the client side, everything on the server side, but we have like a lot of checks on the client to optimize the networking and stuff, and they finding and like imperfections in code and also some like how to say it, abuses of the native code of Unity and everything. So it's not that easy. It's not like we have like half of the game on the client side. It's also like every single time when we close something for the cheaters, they find another way, and we close it and they find another way, and it's ongoing process, and eventually it will be too hard for them because we are planning to add more stuff for the cheater, for anti-cheats. Like we have our inside
Majoris Maschine, danke für den Prime 8, Mann. Dankeschön.
for a long time. the detection system and also the anti-cheat system where they're working together. So we'll add some more stuff to that pretty soon. I think we'll be testing it on Arena at first, and then we'll add it to EFT. It's not that easy.
Mhm.
It's not that easy. People don't understand how it works. People don't understand how exactly code works and how actually cheat works. So yeah, it's not that easy.
Are you open to more invasive anti-cheat?
We're thinking about it, and literally the only thing that bothers me a lot, it will draw a lot of FPS, and people will start struggling playing on other locations. And of course, somebody will say like, "Oh, it's okay, better play without the cheaters," but I cannot ruin player base with that pretty hard decision just to install invasive anti-cheat. But still, there is some kind of not like invasive techniques, but some technical stuff that can be done, can be switched on, and it will not allow cheats to run actually, and we will see how it will go.
Yeah.
But like the invasive anti-cheat, like it's not like it's a no-go for us. But right now, due to our architecture, due to Unity and the overall complexity of the game, it will ruin the performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I need to just emphasize because, and I'm just going to stray over the questions from
Holy shit.
If there's one thing that makes people quit this game more than anything, is when they feel like they've died to cheaters. If I were to say there was one thing they'll go, I'm not playing this game anymore, is if they've had multiple instances in a day where they've just gone, you know what, I think these guys were cheating, fuck this game, I'm out. And as much as like it might take an FPS hit, I guess with every year that passes, we get better computers and all that. So hopefully people can eventually get to the point where they've got a computer good enough. But I think if there was one thing drawing people away from this game more than anything, it is cheaters. And so I've got a lot of points and questions to bring up on this cheating topic, but I just needed to emphasize that right here because, yeah, you can't even open up Reddit without at least 5 out of the first 10 posts being about cheaters. And what do you think of these stats? Mobile phone authentication.
We have this authentication for the 3 specific regions, and it doesn't work because literally all the cheaters mostly use like the virtual SIM cards and everything, so it's pretty like easy for them to change their numbers and everything. So yeah, like again, it's not that easy. It literally we implemented it a long time ago. But yeah, like there is options. There is options for like to have additional authentication, and something will be done for the release for sure. Like we need to add something for that, and maybe even to start forcing players to make some changes in the system. If you want to play like in the cheater-free environment, you need to make some changes with your PC. But again, it will hit the player base because literally not everyone understand how exactly he should go there. He should go to the BIOS and change some things in BIOS, for example. And yeah, it's not that easy. Again, like to make some kind of changes on the go, and it needs to be.
It's not a simple solution. I understand that.
Yeah. We need to look into it. We need to gather the statistics and everything. So
I think another thing people would really like is a way to report people besides being from death. Particularly, I know on OCE, but also around the world, you'll see people in factory just loading in and dying over and over again to tank their kill death. And it's very obvious. Like they just go in there, they're running around, they've got like a macro to make them run around in circles and all that. So would it be possible for to get something implemented into the game where we can report just literally via someone's name? And it doesn't mean they're going to get banned, but it just means they get looked at by an actual human. Because obviously if someone's got like 1,400 raids and they've got 1,200 deaths, but they've got like a 40 kill streak, 40 survive streak, you know that like they went on a 40 rampage and then they went to factory to tank their KD. It gets pretty obvious when you see these people in factory. So I think, and that would also incorporate people being able to report suspicious people on the flea market. You know, someone who's got a 40-hour account but has like 80 flea market rep and they're selling 100 graphics cards. People want to be able to report these people because they're frustrated when they see them. They're like, how obvious is this person cheating? And is it that this person is cheating, but we can't even fucking report them? And that pisses people off. So I think it would go a long way if we had another method in which we can There's a few people asking, is it possible for you to sue the cheat developers? Apparently Halo did it and was successful. So can you go out and find them and sue them? Is that possible?
It's possible, but it's not like the speedy process. Usually it takes up to 1 year or half the year or even higher to get them into a legal perspective. And we are working in that direction. But it's not easy to do again, because literally
Alter, das machen sie, damit habe ich nicht gerechnet.
If it comes to the legal processes and everything.
Is there any plan to implement the kill cam from Arena into the main game, either post raid or in any shape or form? Because I think that also would help people understand that they didn't die to cheaters, they died to being outskilled, or they did die to a cheater and they weren't outskilled. So either post raid kill cam, when the server's finished, like everyone's out of the raid, can they go back and watch it? I think that would help also people being more accurate with reporting of cheaters.
It can be done, but we will need a lot of time to make it right. A lot of time to make it workable, like to store this replay somewhere with that amount of like the raid and sessions that we are having right now. It will be like too hard for us. If we will try to make it, like start to make it right now, we will spend like several months or even more time for that, and we cannot allow it to be happen, because literally we have more important stuff to do. And we will think about it. We will think about something that will give like clarification, additional clarification, how you died actually. We will think about it.
Okay. And the last one I have is, and I know you said no in the past, but I'm going to ask again. Compensation. So when you get a successful report, does someone just get like, I don't know, 100,000 rubles? It's not that much, but it makes them feel like they got something for it? Or are you worried about people mass reporting every single death in case they get some money back?
If people will start mass reporting, right? And another thing that we should know, like if that particular guy were reported by several people, we need to find how to share it between people. And,
no, you just give them all. Give them all the same amount. Money, okay, I don't know how much you players go for Tarkov, but people blow through money very quickly. So even if you were to give out 100,000 rubles to every person that died to a cheater, maybe even, okay, hear me out. This could be a little bit crazy, but maybe every single person died to that cheater that got banned gets a little bit of rubles. Doesn't even have to be the person that reports them. It's just someone who dies to a cheater. When they get banned, they go, hey, you died to a cheater, here is some compensation. And then people would actually feel like they actually got something for it or something.
Genau das.
I don't know. I don't know you're the brains. I'm just handing out the cigarettes. I'm the instigator. But yeah, if I think people just want to feel like they're not being as punished as bad from dying to cheaters. They want to feel like they can report people that they know are cheating, but some motherfuckers will go into a raid, fly around someone, be like, ha, 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 you can't report me, and then they'll fuck off. You know, like that shit happens, you know? And if you double tap, for people that don't know this, you double tap Y and you go report VoIP, it actually shows their name, I'm pretty sure. Or it says reported there, it reports them or something. So there is a way to actually still report those people, but it's frustrating when people can see a cheater on a flea market or tanking their KD and they can't report them. And I'm sorry I'm emphasizing this cheating topic so much, but there was, out of all the comments, there was pretty much two things that were stand out, which was the communication and the cheating. So I'm just trying to really nail down the point that people want to get heard, that they're frustrated and they want more ways to be able to help eliminate as many cheaters as possible. And also, you know, if they can get compensation, that'd be great. But at least help just fuck them off, so then they don't quit the game. So then the play base stays strong and less toxic. All right, that's all the questions I have for cheating. Let's go back to the more fun stuff.
Hat nichts gesagt. No. Hat nichts drauf geantwortet. Ah, schade. Genau darauf habe ich mir eine Antwort erhofft, Mann.
I'm really excited about the achievement system, myself included. The tracksuit for killer achievement. Could this actual achievement be changed to, once you have the achievement, you can buy it from that point onwards? Because killing killer 100 times is actually very difficult. And if someone goes to the effort of farming 100 killers, they want to be able to buy it without having to farm them 50 times again each time. So would that be an actual option in the future? Instead of, you know, when you go to like services on Ragman, just says, instead of having the quest complete, could it be have the achievement of killing killer 50 times or 100 times? And then that way they could buy it at the start of a wipe and be like, hey, I'm one of those people that have, you know, killed killer 100 times. I don't need to, I get my my tracksuit or whatever.
You mean like it will be persistent through wipes?
Correct.
Okay.
Ja, ne, ich denke, dass sie es an den Devs, die werden das mit den Devs schon noch auseinandersetzen, weil ich habe tatsächlich genau das Gleiche mit der Kompensierung, habe ich intern auch schon mal mit einem Meeting mit den Devs tatsächlich auch angesprochen und damals hieß es auch, dass sie da keinen Bock drauf haben. Also jetzt auch schon 1,5 Jahre her. Aber das war damals, als The Cycle Frontier genau dieses System etabliert hat. Und da haben wir das halt auch irgendwie intern in Meetings angesprochen, so, ne? Ich hatte halt wirklich gehofft, dass jetzt halt mal ein Statement kommt, weil das letzte Mal, als ich es vorgeschlagen habe, wurde es halt mies abgeschmettert. So, ne? Und deswegen, keine Ahnung. Ich hoffe halt, dass jetzt dieses Mal was draus wird, weil das ist allein schon, ne? Was Pesti halt sagt, bezogen auf die Cheater, das ist halt eine Sache, das fühlt sich einfach so viel angenehmer an, wenn du halt einfach nochmal Shit zurückbekommst, Mann.
I'm an achievement fiend. Okay, back from my World of Warcraft days, I was like a fiend on them. Kappa achievement. There is no achievement for a Kappa. I feel like that should be the base achievement. Like there should always be that Kappa achievement in there. Because a lot of people, that's their end goal. Hey, I got to do the Kappa container. And that's a very big achievement for a lot of people. People like me who have no life, playing Escape from Tarkov all day, you know, I can get it in a week. Whereas a lot of people sometimes never get it. And when they finally do get it, it's just nice to them to have that achievement for getting the Kappa container. And then this is going back to my World of Warcraft stuff. But in World of Warcraft, there's feats of strength. So what that means is it's an achievement that's specific to an event. So for example, you got the Kappa in patch 0.14.1 white, you get like an achievement for that white Kappa. And that could also unlock stuff like a certain armband or something to say. And this could work for some of like your Halloween events and all the other events you got going on.
Yeah,
having those feats of strength out there. You could do a cool event, you get an achievement for it, but it's not like stopping people from getting 100% achievements. It's just kind of saying that, hey, you did something cool in the game. Would you be open to doing those in the future?
Is it possible?
I could talk about achievements all day, but I'll leave that one there. It's matchmaking. This is probably one of the things that was talked about a fair bit. Do you have more things in place to help improve the time to load into raid or streamline the process?
Yes, because again, like the matchmaking in arena, it differs, and we test new stuff for matchmaker in arena first. And of course, if we'll have something that will boost it up, I believe we already have it, but we need to test it on arena, so we will implement in the EFT too. So yeah, it's also going.
Well, actually, I'll ask it anyway. So with the addition of Ground Zero, will there be new features or more features added to help new players over the hurdle starting the game? You did talk about you're in process of doing the tutorial stuff.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more, or is that more for Tarkov TV?
It will be YouTube clips, YouTube movies. I know how to say YouTube
videos.
YouTube videos. Yes, I'm starting like to losing it. YouTube videos, like describing like in a visual way with the commentary how to play the game. And it will be several, I think 4 or 5 big movies related for the like tutorials. I believe it will give a lot of information for the newcomers and for those who are already playing. And I think we will integrate them somehow in the game, and maybe in launcher or something. So it will help people start playing the game.
Quality of life stuff. So I've got a
Interesting.
few on this list.
Okay.
In arena, you've got more decimal places on sensitivities, and you've also got I think you can type the sensitivity you want. Is that stuff going to get switched? It's switched over to the main game as well.
Yes.
And also like stuff like showing the pen and damage of ammo in the main game. Is that coming?
Yeah.
When you're loading into a raid, I know you can't make it so you can change stuff within your stash, but would you be able to make it so we can at least view our stats, our teammates' stats, potentially start crafts, or have something, a game of Pong with your teammates, or Tetris? I don't know, just something that when you're loading into a raid that you've got something going on, so it's not just a matchmaking.
We're thinking about it again for the release to add something like in this particular time to have some options to make something in the game. And most likely we will add some features for that.
Dash container locking.
It's also planned. Like it's actually even done in some branch of the development, and it's done but not tested. And it's planned for a long time ago. I don't know why it still doesn't have it.
YouTube ist voll mit Tutorials. Was soll da noch rein? Naja, wenn du gerade anfängst mit Escape from Tarkov und dir ein Tutorial raussuchst, wie man das Spiel spielt, wem vertraust du da mehr? In Battlestate Games, den Developern von Escape from Tarkov, oder einen Twisted TV, von dem du noch nie zum Fick in deinem Leben gehört hast? Also keine Ahnung, vielleicht in einem halben Jahr oder sonst irgendwas, wenn du dich irgendwie mit mit Turnieren in Tarkov beschäftigt hast und dann herausfindest, ey, der Typ hat 8000 Stunden und hat einige Turniere in Tarkov bereits gewonnen und spielt gefühlt, was weiß ich, wie viele Turniere. Okay, vielleicht dann hast du dann mir gegenüber ein bisschen mehr Vertrauen, aber am Anfang definitiv Tarkov, ne? Du Twisted? Ja, jetzt lügt nicht, Chat, Alter. Jetzt lügt nicht!
In the game. But yeah, it will be in the game one time or another.
Would it be possible for us to understand the weather better? And what I mean by that is the forecast sometimes says it's like cloudy and you get in there and it's like pissing down with rain or it's foggy. Just so people, I think the grievance here and the comments here were based around you would load in with a sniper off or planning to do a sniping mission because there's a lot of them. You get into a raid and it's really foggy and it's like, well, I can't even snipe now. You know, I'm trying to get my shooter born in heaven done or my Tarkov shooter quest done and I've wasted my time loading into a raid, getting in there and going, hey, I can't even do the quest I wanted to do. So people would like to request better understanding of what's going on with the weather.
Okay.
And then either a way to save or something, the weapon, when you make a gun, being able to make sure it starts on fully automatic with lasers on or laser setups in a certain way. You know, when you go into the firing range and you change how your gun like looks and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like how your presets are on your gun. For example, you know, you want this laser on or whatever, and set to full auto or the holographic. Say, for example, using a Cobra sight, a way to save it so that way when you go into a raid, you don't have to change it every time you go into a raid to have it exactly how you want. A lot of questions about the armor system and the new hitboxes and all that. Do you want to elaborate what your thoughts are currently with how you see it and is this
Und ich tilte in 3, 2,
No,
1.
it's not the final iteration. We're changing it. We will change it for the arena first. So we will change the hitboxes to make it at least more predictable in fights. And it's not final condition of the armor plate.
Yeah, because a lot of people are feeling like it's, I guess, RNG. You're shooting at someone and not knowing if it's going to be a kill shot or if it's like you're hitting them in the plates and all that. This is probably one of the grievances I have, but it came up as well, was fragmentation. It's a complete...
It will be removed. Fragmentation will be removed.
Perfect. I've literally got it here. I wish it was removed.
Fragmentation komplett raus.
So it's good. I'll move on. Recoil. Modifications, like so foregrips and stuff. At the moment, it gives a base percentage. Is it possible, are you going to change it so instead it goes a percentage to horizontal recoil and vertical recoil? Or is it going to be a flat percentage base moving forward?
We plan to separate it.
Now, particularly in Arena, I know this annoys a lot of people. I've got big improvements this with recoil, but the following is still annoying in both main game and Arena and don't add to immersion, just frustration. And that's head recoil and blurry vision. So when you're getting shot, it's like your head's like going like, when you're shooting, your head's going like this while you're shooting, but like guns in your shoulder, it's not moving your head. Like your head's, you shoot like lots as well. The head recoil when shooting is annoying, and also blurry vision. So when you're shooting and you're getting shot at, it makes it, people go, oh, I hit him in the head, when they didn't, but they couldn't tell because it was blurry. And also aim punch has always been a topic that everyone hates. It feels like there's always way too much aim punch. Can we get reduction in all three
Raus
of these?
damit.
Really?
Raus mit dem Scheiß. Braucht kein Mensch.
And aim punch. I think that would make people feel a lot more like, I don't want to use the word competitive shooter, but at least like somewhat realistic.
You need to think about it, because literally it's too low already, but if you'll remove it totally...
It's too low already? Halt dein Maul. Der Blurry-Aspekt von dem Aim-Punch ist fast eine halbe Sekunde in Escape from Tarkov. Ich habe noch nie einen Aim-Punch gehabt, der so extrem ist wie in diesem Game. Was laberst du? Sorry, musste kurz raus.
Think about it, because literally it's too low already, but if you'll remove it totally, it will look not okay. So if you will remove totally like the hand recoil, it will look bad. I don't like it how it looks.
Was genau meinst du? Wenn du einen Hit in Escape from Tarkov bekommst du ja erstmal irgendwie dieses komplette Blurry Vision, also dieses komplett Verschwommene in Escape from Tarkov. Du kannst gefühlt für eine halbe Sekunde nichts mehr anständig erkennen, wenn du einmal einen Hit kassierst. Das ist richtig, richtig mies. Also nicht mal unbedingt ein Headshot, sondern einfach nur einen stumpfen Hit. Da sind wir, glaube ich glaube, halbe Sekunde ist übertrieben. Ich meine, es waren 400 Millisekunden. Das ist viel zu lang. Das hört sich nach nicht viel an, aber für einen Shooter ist es extremst lang.
Looks actually, because literally it's only guns, rotates, and that's it. It's not cool. But we'll think about it.
What about Inertia? It still feels very boaty at level 1. I know about a year ago, I think Trey and Veritas put a lot of effort into explaining how the game was getting to the point where it felt way too boaty and all that. Could we get a slight reduction in the inertia, particularly at the lower levels, so that way people don't get seasickness?
We need to check. I will take it.
All right. This is top 3 on people's comments, which was sound. Occlusion zones are still a massive issue, particularly staircases. Yep. And I just need to emphasize that. Do you have an ETA on the audio pop being fixed? It's where when people get within a certain distance of you, say they're like 100 meters away and they get within sound distance of you, there's like a very loud audible like crack or a pop. And you just know that there's someone nearby without even meaning to know that they're there. And the easy, fast fix of this is actually just disabling across the game binaural audio.
Yeah, it's a binaural bug or something.
But yeah, this is, a lot of people would argue this is game breaking, and it's very much it's breaking the immersion of the game. So when they hear that, they're like, "Oh, player nearby. Well, guess I'm gonna have to shoot this guy." like you.
No, richtig. Raus damit.
When they hear it, they're like, "Oh, there's someone here." Like it's not even like funny anymore. It really needs to be fixed. Like it's to the point where it's, I don't know how to word it, but let's say it's annoying a lot of people. How close to the final iteration of Oculus Audio are we?
I don't know actually, because I don't believe that everything is going with the Oculus right now. I need to check it. If you like gave me the question before the interview, I will like get the info, because right now I don't remember actually what exactly is being done in terms of Oculus Audio. So it needs to be checked.
Yeah, and I should actually bring that up. A lot of people, not a lot, there was some comments being like, Castiglione is only allowed to ask certain questions. And they vet his questions before he gets into the interview, and he's not allowed to ask about certain things. Nikita and I haven't spoken in like a while. And I've just been like, "Hey, you want to have a chat?" And he's like, fuck, okay." So we don't vet the questions or anything. I ask him whatever I want, and he tells me to fuck off or not. That's on him. So why did you change headsets to have different hearing ranges?
Why?
Yeah.
Because they're different. We need to change it somehow to make it more
obvious,
differentiate one to the other.
I feel like it's brought a lot of issues. Like, in all seriousness, it's brought a lot of issues across the game. So, for example, Contact 4s, you can hear 140 meters away someone running at you. And then, like, you know, other Contacts that you can barely hear anything, and it just makes everything loud and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ever since you changed the ranges on the headsets, I think a lot of issues started to I don't have the best word, sorry. A lot of people have had issues with the fact that headsets have caused the game to become more... A lot of people are under the assumption the games became more ratty after the fact that headsets had their ranges increased and changed. Because people can sit...
Ranges increased and changed, und dass scheinbar jetzt der Bug am Start ist, dass während man im Hocken unterwegs ist, dass man keine Steps macht. Das sind diese beiden Aspekte. Und seitdem gibt es so viele mehr Leute, die sagen, dass es nur noch taktische Spieler gibt, die campen und taktisch warten. Oder was weiß ich. Oder die halt angeblich einfach die ganze Zeit nur campen. Dabei hört man einfach die Person, wie sie angerannt kommt, und man ballert sie halt immer in den Haufen. Das ist kein Campen oder sonst irgendwas. Es ist ein frustrierender Tod, den man kassiert. Safe. Habe ich ja gestern im Turnier auch die ganze Zeit kassiert. Aber das ist kein Campen, das ist kein Bullshit. Das ist einfach was man auf eine natürliche Art und Weise so runterspielt. Ist ja stinknormal.
It's still...
It's fucked up.
There's someone coming from 140 meters away, and there's no way to like avoid that now.
It's actually, it's not about the distances of hearing. It's about the compression effect, audio compression effect, which brings up the quiet sounds more, and it feels like you hear sounds from a bigger distance, but it's more about the compression level. We can balance it, I think.
I've definitely tested it, and I can hear people from further away with certain headphones and that. Like I've used the in-game rangefinder, and we took in all the headsets and that. So at least have a look at it if you could, because it's a thing of contention between people. And the crouch walk no audio bug, that one's driving people insane.
It's still there. Like I thought it was fixed long time ago. Okay, I will not go.
Das ist so faszinierend. Ja gut, keine Ahnung. Also vielleicht, ne, man weiß nie, wann er das Interview gemacht hat. Vielleicht ist er gerade komplett am Arsch. Man wirkt ja jetzt auch gerade eben schon so, dass NIKITA gefühlt komplett am Limit ist, so was seine Konzentrationsfähigkeit angeht, wenn er das irgendwie nach der Arbeit hat oder sonst irgendwas, sondern klar, stelle ich mir das ultra schwer vor, dann irgendwie in so einem Podcast zu erscheinen und dann noch halbwegs irgendwie sich konzentrieren zu können, aber heilige Scheiße. Bro, das musst du wissen. Das ist die Gefühl. Also jetzt ohne Scheiß. Chat, jetzt mal Hand aufs Herz. Ne? Einmal eine Eins in den Chat, wenn ihr geglaubt habt, dass es gewollt ist in Escape from Tarkov, dass wenn ihr im Crouch sneakt, also wenn ihr hingehockt sneakt, dass ihr keine Audio macht. Einmal bitte eine Eins in den Chat, wenn ihr glaubt, dass das gewollt war. Oder 2 für Nein. Weil ich habe es mittlerweile so sehr in diesem Spiel drin gehabt, dass ich zu 100% glaubte, dass es gewollt war. Ich habe es mittlerweile voll und ganz als Feature abgestempelt. Muss ich ganz ehrlich sagen. Und dass das halt wirklich ein Bug ist und dass dieser Bug seit 2 Wipes jetzt mittlerweile existiert, seit einem gesamten Jahr. Ich dachte halt wirklich, dass es ein Balancing-Aspekt ist, um halt defensiveres Playstyle oder halt generell campen oder wie auch immer man es nennen möchte, ist mir scheißegal, müssen wir uns nicht drüber streiten, um das halt ein bisschen interessanter zu machen. Im direkten Vergleich zu Peekers Advantage und Shift W Ping Abuse. Was weiß ich. Ist genau das gleiche mit, was war das noch letztens mit diesem einen Feature, wo jeder gedacht hat, dass es gewollt ist, aber nicht gewollt war. Erinnert ihr euch noch daran, als Battlestate Games auf einmal den Bug gefixt hast, dass Container so aussahen, als wären sie geöffnet, nachdem sie gelootet waren? Dass das ein fucking Bug war? Bro, das hat mein Gehirn so hops genommen. Ist genau das gleiche jetzt auch hier wieder, Mann. Dass das einfach ein Bug war. Ich habe Escape from Tarkov immer so gespielt. Container, die angelootet wurden, sind wie dieses typische Medcase, ne, dieses orangene Medcase, was dann einfach so aufgeklappt geblieben ist, ne, oder die Waffenkiste, die dann einfach nach oben geklappt war. So, jeder von uns dachte einfach, dass das kein Bug ist. Und das war ein Bug. I don't know, it's crazy.
Adjust some of the volumes, not us personally. Could BSG adjust some of the volumes of certain actions? Like,
Allein wie oft er als Chefentwickler in so einem Interview sagt, weiß ich nicht oder dachte, das wäre gefixt. Muss ich allerdings Nikita so ein bisschen in Schutz nehmen. Wenn du Chef von so einer Firma bist, mit was weiß ich wie vielen Departments oder sonst irgendwas, ja, du solltest wirklich ein deutlich höheres Verständnis, also vielleicht ein deutlich höheres Verständnis, aber du solltest vielleicht ein bisschen mehr Verständnis haben von den Dingen, die gerade passieren, ja. Aber irgendwo kann man auch, glaube ich, nicht von Nikita erwarten, dass er zu 100% Experte ist von jedem einzelnen Bereich irgendwie, was gerade im Development von Escape from Tarkov passiert. Dass er jetzt zum Beispiel gerade sagt, ey, yo, Alter, Oculus Audio, gar kein Plan, wo wir da gerade dran sind, ist mir persönlich lieber, als dass der irgendwie sagt, ja, wir arbeiten dran und sonst irgendwas. Also da ist mir das irgendwie ein Hauch lieber als, naja, weiß ich nicht. Vielleicht bin ich da ein bisschen, vielleicht bin ich da nicht kritisch genug, aber mal schauen. Chat, ich schalte mal eben ganz kurz Werbung und gehe mir eben kurz was zu trinken holen, ja? Ich bin sofort wieder am Start.
aiming down a sight, it's not us personally.
How's it go?
And I think could we adjust some of the volumes, not us personally, could BSG adjust some of the volumes of certain actions, like aiming down a sight. I know there's an audio for it, but like you've shot a lot in real life. If you want to, it should be fairly quiet, if not silent. Like I know you've a reason why you've got it in there, but it's like you can hear someone at the end of a hallway aiming down their sight, and it's really annoying when you're like you've got the jump on someone, but you can't aim down your sight because you have to make an audio cue to do that. So aiming down sight should be a shitload quieter, and and sometimes.
Aber mal ganz ehrlich, wenn ich als Chef in ein Gespräch mit Pesteli gehe, dann bereite ich mich auf die bekannten Probleme vor. Würde mich nicht wundern, wenn er damit eine noch peinliche Antwort überspielt. Wir wissen, dass wir von Nikita und Battlestate Games sprechen, oder? Also ich will das jetzt so vorsichtig wie möglich ausdrücken, aber die gesamte Escape from Tarkov Community feiert immer Tarkov TV und wie menschlich das Ganze rübergebracht wird und wie nicht geplant das Ganze rübergebracht ist und wie community-nah Tarkov TV immer ist. Und dass die halt einfach fucking verpeilt sind mit ihrem Juice-Time oder sonst irgendwas. Das ist nicht gespielt, das ist nicht... Das ist das Beste, was die können. Mehr gibt's da nicht. Die wissen nicht, dass die sich auf sowas vorzubereiten haben. Das ist, also keine Ahnung, vielleicht ist es einfach, das ist mein Eindruck, den ich seit 2019 habe. Mit jedem Tag auf TV oder sonst irgendwas, den wir uns gucken, so, es ist halt real und kein eingekaufter PRler. Nee, es ist einfach schlecht. Es ist schlecht. Also keine Ahnung, Mann, ich find's grottig, wie unprofessionell jeder Tag auf TV ist. That's how it is. Leider Gottes ist Escape from Tarkov und Battlestate Games so, dass sie halt einfach kein Interesse auf dieses Professionelle legen, leider. So, irgendwann, als sie damals angefangen haben mit dem Development von Tarkov, haben sie mitbekommen, dass die Community es feiert, wie sympathisch und down to earth sie sind als Entwickler und seitdem ändert sich da nichts.
Looting is extremely loud as well. You'll be opening a filing cabinet, it'll be like, or a box, and it's like making all that really loud noises. So the bosses. So first one is packet loss exploit. Do you know about this?
Yes, I know. It will be fixed.
Yeah, this is
Sure.
actually ruining the game, and the reason for that is there's people that are on killing boss quests, and when they see the packet loss and like, I'm getting out. And so what happens is you have all these raids starting where people just run straight to the extract.
Finde ich Geschmackssache in der Hinsicht, lieber so als gar keine Kommunikation wie andere Entwickler. Sorry, dass ich das gerade jetzt wieder pausiere. Für mich persönlich ist zwar kein AAA-Entwickler, aber die beste Kommunikation, die ich schon lange von einem Entwicklerstudio gesehen habe, waren die Boys hinter Grayzone Warfare. Wenn man den Boys auf Twitter verfolgt und wie offen die sind für Kritik und was man besser machen müsste und sonst irgendwas, ich bin sehr gespannt, was tatsächlich Grayzone Warfare für ein Spiel später sein wird, wenn sie weiter so kritikfähig sind und auf die Community hören und auf das Feedback bekommen, obwohl das Game noch gar nicht draußen ist. Und sie hören jetzt schon auf das ganze Feedback, was irgendwie am Start ist von diesem Gameplay-Reveal, den die rausgehauen haben und so weiter. Da bin ich wirklich extremst gespannt, was da passieren wird, wenn Grayzone Warfare rauskommt, weil die sind extremst community-nah. Mal schauen.
And there's no one even like in the raid, because what happens is like they just don't want to be in there because they can't kill their boss for their quest or their achievement or whatever they're doing. And it's been around for about 2-3 wipes, and it really needs to be fixed. Like it's killing the game.
It will be fixed.
Yeah.
It will be fixed. Yeah. In the next patch, I guess.
And I know that
Im nächsten
you and
Patch?
I had heated discussions about the boss.
Im nächsten Patch, I guess, sie sagen allerdings, also sie nehmen das gerade auf mit BTA auf Woods und alles mögliche kommt noch. Moment.
Spawn rates, particularly early wipe, caused a very large bottleneck. This wipe, having the boss spawn rates that low at the very start of a wipe. I know you've got different opinions on this, and I'm not trying to tell you how to make your game, but it needs to be much higher earlier on, because what happens is everyone does all the other quests, then all of a sudden everyone is now on the boss killing quest. And then if you either on your first quest where I need to kill Reshala and get a golden TT, and then there's someone else farming Reshala for 15 kills, and then someone else is trying to do their snowball quest, all of a sudden you have like 40 people. Not that's exaggeration. You have like 5 people in a raid trying to kill the boss. So even if the boss spawn rate is like 20 or 30%, with 5 people running at it, even if you're the first person there, like you still got a 1 in 5 chance to be the first person to kill the boss. And it can become very frustrating for people trying to kill bosses. So I just want to emphasize the fact that boss spawn rates being low early wipe really do cause a lot of bottlenecks and frustration for players. All right, moving on to Scavs and player Scavs.
True. Wie gesagt, da fände ich es immer noch ein cooles Konzept, wenn man auf jeder einzelnen Map irgendwie einen Random Spawn haben könnte für jeden einzelnen Scav-Boss und gleichzeitig ebenfalls auch noch eine Möglichkeit zu haben, wo man dann vielleicht über irgendeine Mechanik dann ebenfalls den Spawn auch noch zu 100% forcieren kann. Fände ich auch sehr geil, wenn man das irgendwie einbauen könnte. Zum Beispiel auf Interchange musst du dann vielleicht erstmal die Karte swipen, dann musst du den Strom anhaben, dann musst du in den Safe Room unten reingehen, musst dann auch irgendwie auf den Knöpfchen drücken und dann machst du Keybar auf und dann auf einmal ist Killer da am Start. So, fände ich cool. So ein bisschen einfach jede Art und Weise, du hast deutlich mehr Points of Interest auf der Map und du hast halt weniger von diesem Clusterfuck. Fände ich nice.
Spawn in way too early, particularly on Streets and Lighthouse. And like I literally saw someone tweeting, on Reddit saying, someone's upgraded their computer so they could play Streets, and then they were like, I scavved on Streets for the first time, and it was amazing. And then people were like, welcome to our map. Like Streets is more Scav players than there are like PMCs most of the time, because they just overwhelm the map. So can it just be like a base, like make it so the first 15 minutes there's no player Scavs, or just very small amount? Because even Lighthouse, you're trying to kill the water treatment plant. Like you spawn into Lighthouse, you finally get over to the water treatment plant after killing a couple of players. You start clearing the water treatment plant, and then all of a sudden you've got 5 player Scavs like charging up on you, and they can run straight up to the rogue,
Mieser bullshit.
The rogue in the back of the head, take the rogue's gun, run over to you, and they've got a pretty decent loadout. And it gets very, very frustrating when you're trying to do a quest on Lighthouse, and then you've got like...
Scav-Player sind das nervigste auf Lighthouse, Reserve und Streets. Es gibt nichts Schlimmeres, als es auf diesen Map gibt, bis auf Scav-Player. Es gibt nichts Nervigeres als das.
Like 5 player Scavs ruining your day. So the player Scavs on those maps are really painful. I've also got here that people complaining...
Keine Antwort darauf, kann gar nichts.
As always, about Scavs seeing through bushes. Being I don't know, that'd be not an easy thing to code, I can imagine, because like how many pixels can a Scav see?
No, not about the pixels. We have approximate colliders for that. The view collider, they approximate is something like spheres, like cones, boxes. and that's why we cannot make it precisely correct in terms of leaves and everything, because if we will make the actual like colliders based on a model of
Warum habe ich wohl 7-mal so viele Raids als Scav denn als PM7? Weil du als Scav nichts setzen musst. Und du so oder so einen erfolgreichen Raid hast.
of the vegetation, it will ruin the performance, the server performance. So that's why it needs to be approximated somehow, interpolated. So that's why somehow they still able to shoot through bushes. But we can check that. Maybe we'll increase, because we can. If we will try to increase these colliders, they're invisible.
Yeah.
But they're visible for AI. They could be too big, and you will start complaining that AI is too stupid. He can't see me like in the front.
Oder weil es einfach Spaß macht. Ja, macht dir selbst Spaß, sonst würdest du es ja nicht machen. Ne? Klar.
In front of him.
Also Scav-Player sind halt, Scav-Player-Spawns sind halt für den Arsch.
Beautiful map, I love it. It's a lot of fun. What are your plans moving forward with Ground Zero? I know you spoke earlier, or when it first came out, about how you want it to be available to higher level players as well. What are your current plans for Ground Zero?
Two separate matchmaking for that. So we will add more additional matchmaker to play on this location if you are higher than the particular level. So yeah.
Is there any plans in to adjust how the fog works in Escape from Tarkov? Because I feel like sometimes you're in a map and you're trying to snipe, and after like 100 meters, it just always seems foggy. Or like you're trying to kill Sturman on woods, and like you can't see through the fog, even though it's like a clear day.
Because we have like the minimum amount of fog. It will be there 100%. Because literally, if we will remove it, the picture will be bad. But because we are remaking the whole visuals of the game, it will be a totally different fog system. So most likely it will be fixed with the new visuals.
Lighting, particularly inside buildings, interchange, dorms, resort, and the bunker of reserve. If you look at old interchange to new, I think most recent wipe, it was actually a big improvement, but it really, I guess the best way to explain it, Nikita, is daytime interchange looks pretty much exactly the same as nighttime interchange. It doesn't really feel like there's too much different in the darkness, even though there's, like it's so bright outside. There's a really cool, I've forgotten his name, a guy on YouTube that like he makes the most insane YouTube videos, and he did like if Tarkov had ray tracing, it looks so good. It's some of the maps are just, particularly during the daytime, it was way too dark, and I feel like a lot of these things are coming into frustration where people are like, no one ever moves anymore, and it's all like people just hiding in corners. And if it was a lot brighter, it would be a lot harder for people to hide in corners than that. So I think this is where a lot of the frustration comes from. And inside buildings it feels very dark. And I know there's like the part of Escape from Tarkov that's meant to be it's like almost a horror game, It makes you feel scared, but at the same time, people want to still be able to see what their enemy.
Yeah, I see. That due to limitation of the graphical engine, we cannot do the global illumination stuff, like the ray tracing and everything. It's too much, and it could be done with different techniques. So I believe we need to add another pass of the lightning in the interchange. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
interesting.
Labs. Some people asked, could you put a level lock on there or a quest lock? Is it something that you'd be interested in doing? So, like instead of
Quest lock soll doch kommen, oder nicht?
Get a labs key card from the flea market, you jump in there. But maybe around the same time you get the samples quest where you get Sims.
So at
least that way, I guess what people don't want is they don't want that level 15 account that's a cheater to jump into labs and ruin the game for them. They want people who are actually going into labs to be legitimate players. And so therefore, if they have to do some questing first, then it's less likely there's a cheater in labs. I think that's where the frustration or this question comes from, less than they want labs to be harder, because I think primarily they want everyone in labs because that's where the PvP happens.
True.
But at the same time, they want to reduce the chance of a cheater being in there. I'll put that into the universe. Do what you want with it. The map Lighthouse hasn't really had much touched on it since it was released. It's probably
okay. Finde ich gerade irgendwie uncool, dass man wenig Antworten Nikita jetzt mitbekommt.
Of how linear it is. Do you have any plans to do any rework of Lighthouse, or is it on it's pretty much where it's at?
Well, we didn't plan to add anything to that still, but I don't know, maybe in the future.
This was like 3,000 messages I read, and I tried to just focus on the ones that stood out the most. And so they just want to be heard, Nikita. That's the main thing I'm trying to emphasize here is like if I was to put everyone in a room and you have someone stand up and put their hand up and say, hey, Nikita, favorite breakfast cereal. Like this is kind of like I went through all that shit just to find these questions, and so it might be getting a bit dry, and I do apologize for that. But people just wanted to be heard, and that. So it's up to you. We can call it here, and we can go through the second half next week if you want.
We can do it. We can do it this week. I don't know.
It'd have to be
in a
like
couple of days.
Thursday, maybe.
Thursday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our favorite day of the week. All right, guys. So we wrapped up the first half of the recording. 2 or 3 days later, the next part of the recording begins. Also, the patch, I think 14.5.
Ja, er hat halt selber gemerkt, dass er am Arsch war, ne? Gute Sache, Pesti. Smart.
Put out into the woods, and some of the changes had already been added to the game. So let's get into the second half of the conversation.
Hoffen wir, dass er jetzt wieder ein bisschen mehr Energie hat.
So the next thing that people brought up was sights. Some of the eye reliefs are actually still really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the magnifications just like pretty much unusable. You know, like the Night Force sight that's like a 12 by 50x or something, and it sits somewhere around the 25x. There's literally no opportunity to ever use that because the way you've done it is you've got like either like say 1x or 4x. You know what I mean? Because you don't have it, so you can like you used sights before, like you can variable in between the 1 and the 8, and you could go anywhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
If you could look at doing just some of the eye reliefs in particular, and then also, and if you need me to find a list, I could probably get people to give me a list, but of the sites that have bad eye relief, and then also some of the magnifications are just unusable. So at least then it'd be cool to have one of those big sniper sights and actually be able to use it, or at least have a variation in there. So it's might be 25x, but then it's also like 7x. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to know more about the hideout. Are there many more areas to be added? And what will it finally look like when it's complete?
We will add more stuff, like several new areas, like even the special
Ich hab die gleiche Sense.
And also the hideout will be used as the place for adding like new stuff, new areas, linked only for the DLC. For example, the clan DLC will add additional room only for clan.
Cooler Scheiß.
Clan zone, clan units and everything.
Cool.
So yeah, it will be used as like this kind of big hideout for everything related to the DLC, future DLC, and the game itself.
People have been asking about the hideout cat. Is that soon or soon?
Yeah, it's like not soon, but soon, yes.
Okay. What about like a dog or a pizza oven? I think Jesse Kazam wants a pizza oven. And are you open up to the idea of microtransactions for decorations in your hideout?
We'll see actually, because we didn't plan to expand the hideout for adding like really unrelated stuff. I don't know, massage
Massage parlor. This is actually an actually kind of, I think it's kind of a cool one. Is can you increase the wall of fame so it holds pretty much all the items needed for collector? Because like the Doctor Disrespect's armor, or like the plague mask, or the food like General Sam's soft drink or can, whatever it is. Just because a lot of people, when they're collecting all the items for collector, the for the Kappa task, they'd like to be able to just keep putting them in there, so then that way they don't accidentally use them. Now for spawns and exfils, adjust some spawns on some maps on maps so there's no clear line of sight. Reserve has a lot of issues with this. Probably one of the big ones. Reserve's got a lot of issues with.
Alter, die Spawnfights sind so ein Abfuck auf Reserve.
See someone, and I thought potentially an idea just to put that forward is, you know how on Streets of Tarkov you've got some spawns like literally inside a building. So then that way you've like, it's kind of like a divot away. So then that way you're not sure if someone's in there or not. And there's so many different things like that. I know Reserve's a tricky map for that, but people kind of need it's very predictable to know where people are on Reserve when they spawn in. And there's a lot of frustration. I know, just to bring Jesse Kazam back up again, I know he was showing some clips recently. There's nothing more frustrating than waiting 3 or 4 minutes to get into a raid and you literally take 4 seconds to move and you're dead. They at least want to feel like they have a chance to fight back. Reserve has a lot of issues with that. Another idea a lot of people were putting forward is about reducing the player count on some maps. So then that way it's not as predictable. There's so many people to be at all the spawns when you spawn in. But I'll put that in the universe, use that information how you want to see fit. This has kind of changed a little bit because of what you've just done on Woods, but drastically increasing the exfil areas on some maps and increasing the amount of extracts. So for example, with this one, I'm talking about Emicon extract on interchange. Instead of it being right at that truck, having it like behind the tents and a little bit further out. So then if people are extract camping, obviously realistically you would have to go up to the truck to extract, but the reason why people can get away with extract camping so well is because they know they have to go to a very finite section of the map. And if they've already traversed through the whole map, looted the entire map, what difference does it really make if they're within that, say, 30 square meters compared to being like 50 square meters, and they've gone over to that area, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult for people to extract camp specifically. And like a good example is like outskirts on woods. So that extract is quite wide. Like you don't have to be right at that truck. There's actually a fair bit of room left and right of that.
Will den Extract größer machen, okay.
Woods extracts.
Interessanter Take.
If you spawn on one side of the map, you have like 5 extracts. If you spawn on the other side of the map, you really only have outskirts.
Ja, genau das ist das Ding, nämlich irgendwie, wenn ich immer über Extract Camper nachgedacht habe, habe ich immer irgendwie den Ansatz gebracht, jo, lass mal versuchen, einfach vielleicht ein paar mehr Extracts auf die Map zu bringen, dass Extract Camping einfach unwahrscheinlicher wird und nicht mehr so effizient ist für die Leute. Aber das ist interessant.
A car extract. So potentially just opening up the idea of if there's more extracts, there's less chance of people extract camping. And this is what it's coming down to, is people don't want to die, go to all the work of going through all the map, getting all the loot, battling out other players and scavs, and then dying right on that exit line. So there's either more options to extract from a map or bigger areas in the extracts that are available. It just takes away some of the power of someone camping an extract.
Yeah.
Reduces the chances of them being able to extract camp. And then for interchange as well, there's that one corner of the map that has nothing in it that could perfectly be an extract of
a new proportion. Absolut, voll.
One of the ideas that was thrown about a long time ago was you have to have a found in rag dog tag to extract from that corner or something cool like that. So then that way, at least you still have to do something in the map to extract. But then, you know the one that's along the road, it's between, like, you've got the power station corner with the car. You've got Emicon and railway extracts. It's the other corner. Just another extract in there, just to help reduce people camping either Emicon or railway.
Das ist ein cooles Konzept. Ein Extract, den du nur nutzen kannst, wenn du einen Dog-Tag abgibst.
Extract at the bottom, but
das ist cool.
Lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But that's some.
Könnte dann zum Beispiel auch irgendwie was zusammenhängen mit diesem Arena-Händler, der irgendwann dazukommen soll, ne? Dass man da dann halt Dog-Tags abgeben muss.
And a lot of frustration with people about extracts and extract campers. So use that how you want. A lot of questions about the rusted key for streets. You made that room that had the really awesome key spawns in there. And now no one can seem to find the key. It's very, very, very rare. And then when you get in the room, there's nothing in there now. So, or it's nearly nothing in there. People questioning what happened to the rusted key. People saying that Streets is such an amazing map for loot that the other maps have kind of lost their charm when it comes to loot. And
Absolute.
It'd be nice if some of the other maps just got a bit of a buff to loot. And a good example is how Shoreline's new area is actually very valuable. And people have realized how good that is. And so like that kind of made Shoreline, so it wasn't just resort that was good or the village area. You had another section. But having extra like loot, more valuable areas on all the maps, or at least more valuable loot spawning on all the maps, would make it so Streets wasn't the money-making map or the main money-making map. Hideout crafts. So you've made it that you have to complete a considerable amount of Lightkeeper quests to unlock the Ledex craft, the Vertex craft, and stuff like that. By the time you get these crafts, there's literally nothing in the game you need those Ledexes or Vertexes for. So it kind of makes that whole like, why does it even matter to unlock those crafts? And that when the Ledex craft was available earlier, you would actually be able to craft a Ledex for your therapist task, private clinic. So there needs to be, or it would be, we'd like it if there was more reason to either make these crafts. So either there needs to be a reason to have Ledexes later on, and Vertexes, etc. Or these crafts need to be available earlier. So there's actually a point to have the craft. Global trader limits, people hate them. They really fucking hate them.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. So you've got 2 hours to play for a day. You log in, something's sold out, and it's 3 hours to reset, and you can't even get it. Or if when something does reset, it sells out instantly, and they've never had a chance to do it because there was only 100 available or something like that.
Absolute bullshit, man.
Would be doubling or increasing some of the stuff to buy out, the amount available. Or I think the thing that everyone really would like is personal limits over global trader limits or something along the lines of that. The blue folder, like the blue intelligence folder for the Lightkeeper task, that's skyrocketed in value because it's got such a low spawn rate. I think it's at like 30 something million each and you need 2 of them. either are more ways to acquire this item or just increasing the spawn rate. Ability to add items to a wish list for the flea market, and it would give an
Ich find's
item
gerade
in
richtig
rate
uncool,
shown
dass es
it's
NIKITA nichts
needed.
mehr sagt.
So you've already got, in the current way the game works, is you can right click any item in the game and say add to wish list, and people would like it if you did that. Then when you go into a raid, it would have that item. When you find that item, it would have like a little icon to say this is on your wish list. So then people that are trying to find items in the game, say they're trying to find an item for their hideout or for a quest coming up, that they can actually mark certain items that they want whilst they're running around and looting and stuff. Did you ever play any games like Fallout?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like options in like Fallout that are very similar to that. I think it was like markers needed, I think, in Fallout. Kiba and Ultra Medical seem to be very crappy loot now. They used to be amazing. People want to have the excitement of Ultra Medical and Kiba again.
Interchange soll mal einen Lootbuff kriegen, Mann.
Ragman. I'll just do what you want with that, but
That's the plan.
this was actually a really cool idea. Do what you want with it. Potentially reworking how you get colored keycards for labs. Like, you can still have it. There's a chance to get one off a boss in a pocket or whatever. But they really like the idea of Colleagues Part 3, where you actually get that option to get a black keycard if you want. Or you can, do the other, like by killing Sanitar. And maybe having some more quests in the game where, hey, if I do this option, I could get a green keycard. Or if I do this option, I might get a violet keycard. And then that way it kind of gives you get the option of what path you want to go down to. It's like choose your own adventure. But you'll miss out on something.
Er macht Notizen. Es gab 30 bis 45 Minuten, wo er Notizen geschrieben hat und die haben sie rausgecuttet. Ja, stimmt, hat man auch gerade gesehen, dass er gerade geschrieben hat, anstatt dann darauf richtig zu antworten. Ja, okay, fair. Trotzdem hätte er ein bisschen was sagen können. Aber gut, ne? I mean, sure.
So they actually, there was someone brought that up saying it was a really cool idea. That's everything I got for looting and loot. You want a list of new guns that the people want to see? You like guns, don't you?
I don't know, like there's a lot of guns already, and there's still a lot of things.
People want to know what guns are coming, but I'll give you this. Actually, I'll let you go first if you want to announce any guns or say any guns are coming.
Yes, a second. Yes.
People would love to see an M249, so a 5.56 like belt fed, because I think we got like the RPD in that already. M82 Barrett, your sniper. Obviously, all the British people would love to see an SA80. The Bison, PP Bison. I'm hoping to hear a planned one. That's all the people said. Some middle tier NVGs. I actually really like those blue ones you've got in the game, but just some more variations in NVGs. And there was a lot of people asking to smoke cigarettes. Like, surprising amount of comments. Smoking cigarettes and vapes. If you want to go down that path.
What the fuck? Es ist traurig, dass ein Streamer ihm das näher bringen muss. Ja, also keine Ahnung, Mann, ist doch gut, dass wir jetzt irgendwie, dass die Stimme gehört wird, Mann. So, jeder möchte mal, dass BSG Community nah ist, so, und jetzt versuchen sie Community nah zu sein und jetzt ist es traurig. I mean, weiß ich nicht. Wirkt so ein bisschen so nach dem Motto, nachdem alles schlecht ist, you know?
That's it for, I've got 4 guns and stuff. Do you want to say that if there's any guns coming up in the next patch or wipe or whatever, I'll save that for a Tarkov TV?
Something is coming, I'm not sure what is coming. Most likely I will show it in Tarkov too, so I don't have any information what's going on.
Cool.
But I think some belt fit will be in their new one, but I'm not sure which exactly.
I'll leave that for the people to guess. Servers, someone was asking for an Alaskan server or a server for Alaska.
Sure.
And then the people from South America are having issues of getting ping kicked, and they live in South America. So I think the server's located in Brazil, and I don't know where they are located in South America, but they're getting kicked from that server. I don't know if you are open to the idea of potentially like maybe increasing just the ping kick on that server alone, just so then that way it can handle the whole continent without issue, so at least they can play the game. Private servers and game modes. Are you open to the idea of the people paying for or organizing an event with you guys for private server events? I know Path of Exile does a lot of this stuff where towards the end of a wipe, they'll host like special leagues called gauntlets and stuff like that. And then, like they might be able to invite like a certain amount of people to be a part of the event. Maybe something that we can bring up with Dimitri or someone in relation to hosting events.
Ja, warum nicht, ne? I mean, sure. Mehr Events ist immer gut.
Earning money from it, because literally it's nothing. It's just needs to be managed from our side. So that's the reason we are. Like, it's a good idea. Maybe we should implement something in the future for the release to have some dedicated guy who will work on these tasks especially. And yeah, it could be done.
Yeah.
But it's not about the actual earning money or something like it, and it's not that simple. Like okay, and you go ahead. No, we need like to build like kind of infrastructure, tools, and everything for that. So, but it's not done, and as you can understand, it's not important right now.
I am in discussion with Dimitri about trying to host a hardcore event because there's a lot of interest in it at the moment. So hopefully we can work something out that will give some infrastructure there.
Interesting.
Like the single cases are totally okay. Like if you need to do something customized for the single event or something, it's good. But to have like kind of open thing for not everyone, but at least for a wider audience, some kind of tools, some kind of like servers ready to go. That means that it needs to be done in many terms.
Yep.
We need to actually do that.
All right. So moving on to events. How do your in-game events come to existence? Do you have someone who plans and organizes them all, like a games master that goes, all right, they're going to do these events over the wipe and it's going to tell this story, or people just want to know more information on how you decide on running an event?
So basically it's the same thing. Like every single season, we just select a really big like amount of different events, like a big list. Then we iterate them, remove what's like hard to do or just stupid, and we kind of lock this in, and that's it. Starting to work towards it is like big.
Schade, dass sie selbst nicht ins Forum schauen und lesen, was mit ihrem Spiel los ist. Und wurde gerade eben in dem Interview tatsächlich schon angesprochen, dass sie genau das tun.
Big events, move what's like hard to do or just stupid, and we kind of lock this in, and that's it. Starting to work towards it is like big events, like the events just before, and events which are kind of repetitive every single year. That's the Halloween and everything, and that's it. We kind of, because it's not like we are inventing those events on the go. It's more like they are established already at the start of the year even, and just it, because literally we like select them, we pick the.
Ganz kurz, Chat, das geht mir gerade irgendwie im Chat gerade in die falsche Richtung. Können wir nicht einfach das Ganze einfach jetzt gerade enjoyen, dass wir neue Informationen zu Escape from Tarkov bekommen? So, wenn man jetzt die ganze Zeit irgendwie nur hier irgendwie Negatives in den Chat reinballern möchte, so nach dem Motto, ey, yo, Tarkov scheiße und sonst irgendwas, sie machen dies nicht, sie machen X nicht, sie machen Y nicht. Ja, okay, verstehe ich, dass irgendwo ein Frust gegenüber BSG da ist. Das sind Sachen, die alle schon angesprochen worden sind, irgendwie in diesem Video selber. Tut mir nur bitte Gefallen und zieht dann die Stimmung im Chat dann in dem Fall nicht runter. Einfach enjoyt das Ganze, dass wir jetzt hier neue Informationen bekommen, Abfahrt.
Dates, and we need to actually develop them. So that's it. When it's ready, we release it. When we increase the amount of events towards the end of wipe, because literally, at the end of wipe, people are like kind of bored and need to do something. So we run the like more
intense ones, the game-breaking ones.
Game-breaking ones, yeah.
We've seen global events in the past for people to take part in. Could we get some events that are like USEC versus bear style, like a race to doing a certain thing or killing a certain amount of the other faction, or
cool, yeah.
Something to put a bit of competitive between the bears and the USEC? I think people would find that very fun, and maybe like having a reward for the winner, maybe like, I don't know, bonus 5% XP or something, or 10% XP for a week, or, you know, like something just for bragging rights or whatever, you know. And then I think people really like the cultists, but they don't ever get to see them in general. So more events that actually involve the cultists would actually be
das wäre
cool as well. That's
unterschreibe ich.
What people have asked for.
Kultisten, die dann sich auf Tag auch zeigen.
Just general questions, and you can explain as much as you like or as little. It's totally up to you, Nikita. What is the biggest technical limitations the game is facing and plans to overcome?
The first, it's like visual, graphical limitations and different kind of stuff related to optimizing the game. So basically, it's because the game is too big, too complicated, and we started it without knowing some really specific stuff that we actually understood later. And that's why it's always a really, really hard struggle to actually change something and then go when everything is kind of established. And so the first one is the constant war with our own code, old code and everything. So it's a struggle. The second one is like the engine limitation and lack of tools, lack of like inner technological stuff within the engine, which already like kind of like a standard in the game industry, but still in Unity it's not even there. The third one, like really big amount of different kind of testing before the release, before the patch release and everything. Because literally there's so many systems, functions, subsystems, and everything that needs to be checked. They're all linked together, and every single time when it comes to actual like final testing of the releases of the patches, we need to do more and more testing every single time, and it's like it's okay, it's like understandable, but still it's like kind of big thing that will draw a lot of time, but it's not like limitation actually, because yeah, it's not like limitation.
Ich finde es gerade interessant, also vielleicht verstehe ich da gerade was einfach nicht, aber sein erster Satz war doch gerade, die größte technische Limitierung sind visuelle Aspekte. Also für mich als jemand, der nichts damit zu tun hat, aber haben wir nicht ein fucking mieses CPU- und RAM-Bottleneck in Tarkov? Warum ist das Visuelle das größte Problem? Das verstehe ich da nicht, Chat. Kannst du nochmal zurückskippen? Klar. Wir gucken uns das nochmal an.
The last 6 questions I've got are all just general questions, and you can explain as much as you like or as little. It's totally up to you, Nikita. What is the biggest technical limitations the game is facing and plans to overcome?
The first, it's like visual, graphical limitations and different kind of stuff related to optimizing.
Das ergibt für mich keinen Sinn.
So basically, it's because the game is too big, too complicated, and we started it without knowing some really specific stuff that we actually understood later, and that's why it's always a really, really hard struggle to actually change something and then go when everything is kind of established. And so the first one is the constant war with our own code, old code and everything. So it's
ich glaube, weil er Systeme wie das Culling-System nicht so ausbauen kann, wie er es gerne hätte, was dann gegebenenfalls die Performance verringert. Okay. I don't know. Also das ist jetzt, ich hab's halt einfach irgendwie von der Formulierung her, verstehe ich es halt irgendwie anders. Keine Ahnung, wie gesagt, ich kenne mich mit dem ganzen Bums nicht aus, so deswegen ist es immer noch eine andere Geschichte. Aber das hörte halt für mich so irgendwie an, als ob der Developer, der Chef gerade sagt, Alter, wir haben einen GPU-Bottleneck in Tarkov. Und so hat es sich ja gerade für mich angehört und ich denke mir so, chill, Bruder? That's not true.
It's not. It doesn't stop.
Yeah. And how we plan to overcome this like tool limitation, like by upgrading the Unity version and like reiterate, recode stuff, maybe even refactoring the code a little to speed up the process. It's not like we don't have a final solution. Like, okay, we should do that. We should like close the game for half a year and make everything great. No, it's not working that way. Unfortunately, that it is what it is. You cannot rebuild like the big ship which is like
already floating.
Yeah, we will just overcome it with more work, more tools, more like methods of working and everything. So
mehr Math. Okay. Chill, Bruder.
What are your intentions for from now for Battlestate Games and Escape from Tarkov?
Release the game, make the release plan for DLCs, release the DLCs, and start making new game.
Any hints on what that new game is?
Something with candies, little dogs. Yeah.
And you get to crush
some
them?
Mobile games, maybe mobile, yeah.
Oder einfach ein Battlestate Games macht neues Candy Crush, Alter.
Made a Twitter post a while ago talking about potentially releasing an API for Escape from Tarkov. Is there still any plans for that?
Yeah, I need to remind this because the guys told me, okay, that's totally okay, we will do that, and something like left forgotten, so I just need to check.
Kind of goes into my next question, so I'm sure you can answer this at the same time. Is there an app still planned or in development, or is that once the API is released, you'll let other people just do it?
It's still planned. We actually have a working, like not the prototype, like working first version, but for some reason we still holding it. I need to check it too. I believe we will do that for the release. So we will release this application.
What's the plan for that? Is that more to can you use your hideout in that and craft or is it?
Bro, die existiert
the functionality is pretty big. Like the plans for the functionality are also big. We'll start with something more simple and then we'll add more stuff to do. Like at least you will see a lot of statistics, a lot of ongoing crafts and everything. the statistics of your matches and so on. And yeah, we'll add some more functionality to that. I need to check like what exactly we're done for this application.
Cool. Second last question. Is there
Cool.
a benefit to playing Bear coming to Tarkov? Because right now, if you're a USAC, you can get away with going closer to light, the water treatment.
There will be another faction like Russian armed forces, so there will be something like rogues for the bears.
Is that like Division or whatever it's called?
No, it's like Russian military forces.
Okay.
RUAF.
Cool. And the last question was
Die Bears werden freundlich mit den RUAF sein. Okay, cool.
a random one, but do you have crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
I don't have I don't have any peanut butter. I didn't
Why?
eat peanut butter because I don't know. We didn't got used to it. Like it's more like Western thing. Really. Like we have sgushonka, you know?
Yeah.
Sgushonka.
That's
Condensed milk. So we use that. We have like regular condensed milk and the boiled condensed milk.
Yeah.
Boiled condensed milk is like brown one. It's more tasty, and most of all, you can craft it in real life.
Isn't
just need
boiled
to
condensed
boil
milk
it.
custard? Am I wrong with that?
No, because it's a typical thing for Eastern Europeans and everything. So yeah, and we don't have like this like peanut butter or something. It's more like we saw in American movies, like everyone starts to like use this on the bread, like peanut butter with a jam or something. They call it
Peanut butter and jelly.
PB and Jam.
yeah.
PB and J, yeah.
I tasted it, like it's pretty good, but we didn't have that there, so we just used Gushonka and that's it.
All right, that's all I've got. Thank you so much, Nikita, for giving me your time and everyone their time and hearing our concerns and comments and yeah, just taking the opportunity to talk to us about this stuff.
Thank you very much. Good questions as always.
You have anything final you want to say? Last remarks?
Smoking is bad. I must say smoking is bad.
Okay. They are
Don't
kids.
smoke. I don't drink alcohol. And don't play too much. Go outside, see what the hell is going on there, and instantly go back.
Instantly go back.
All right, guys, so that is the end of the...
Okay, holy shit, alles klar. Denkt dran, ne? Go outside and then instantly go back und dann wisst ihr Bescheid. Keine Ahnung, also ich muss sagen, grundlegend, keine Ahnung, wenn ich das Video jetzt einfach mal so kurz Revue passieren lasse, viele Sachen, die angesprochen waren, die wichtig sind, die gut sind, viele Sachen, viele Pläne, die sie jetzt und viele Ideen, die er jetzt geteilt hat, die sehr viel Potenzial haben an der Stelle. Ich muss sagen, mal schauen, wo die Reise hingeht. Ich bin gespannt drauf. Vieles wird halt stehen und fallen mit der Art und Weise, wie sie es tatsächlich umsetzen, ne? Wie das Ganze halt jetzt am Ende dann laufen wird. We shall see, ob das was wird oder ob es scheiße wird oder ob es geil wird, das werden wir dann halt genau gucken. Aber grundlegend, geile neue Infos. Schön wieder was von Battleset Games zu hören. Mal schauen, wo wir in einem halben Jahr sind. Mal gucken. Ich finde es nicht schlecht.